All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide, toll-free, 800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media networks, X-Zone Radio TV, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X-Zone Nation, this next hour is a story about goodness. It's about Sylvia's Haven. And Sylvia's Haven is a nonprofit housing facility that provides shelter, guidance, and emotional support for homeless women and their children. Located in Revere, Massachusetts, the Haven was founded by Sylvia Anthony, a now 84-year-old woman who humbly works to provide women not only with housing, but also provide directions where they can go to develop their own learning skills and earning skills and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Havens receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin an independent life. Sylvia Anthony is my special guest this hour, X-Zone Nation. Her website is www.sylvias... Are you writing this down? Good. sylviashaven.org. That's sylviashaven.org. And Sylvia, welcome back to the X-Zone. It's great having you with us.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's a pleasure being with you.
You know, we had you on a number of years ago, and your story touched people all around the world. The kindness, the love, the caring, the understanding that you give to your girls who come to you in their very desperate times of need. The girls that you've helped, the children that you've helped. My God, 84 years young and you're still at it. Where do you get your energy from?
God. That's all I can say.
Tell us a little bit about the origins of Sylvia's Haven.
Well, I got married very young. So by the time I was 39, oh, by the way, there was a divorce after 12 and a half years. It was a terrible marriage.
Oh.
But after that, I stayed single for 10 years, and by the time I was 39 years old, I was looking for another job because I wasn't loyal to my employees. I was looking to make enough money to support my children. So whenever the opportunity arose to make more money, I went for it. So I went to this employment agency looking for a job, and it was called Double M Executive Employment. And I went over there, and I brought my resume, and this young fellow saw my resume. He was only 20 years old, so a woman 39, 40 years old was old to him. Mm-hmm. He went to his boss, and he said, take a look at this. And he was the manager of the place. And he says, can I do anything with her? And the man looked at it, and he says, right off the bat, I can place her in 4 places. He says, of course she's eligible. So he came over and he talked to me. I got a job as a accountant for 26 lawyers in an office.
Wow.
And I got a husband. That very same man became my husband.
Well, you got more than you bargained for when you went to that employment agency.
Yeah. So then my children were already grown. I got married at 18 and a half years old. I had a daughter, 20, 21, I believe. The son was 20. The boy was 16. And I felt a void because I always worked and took care of the kids too. Now I had no kids really to rear. And God gave me this emptiness inside, and I felt that I wanted a shelter. And my husband never discouraged me. We were married for 17 and a half years, but he contacted cancer and was dying. And as he was dying, like I say, he never discouraged me. So he was watching TV and watching all these TV evangelists, and Jerry Falwell come on. And when Jerry Falwell come on, I was washing dishes in the kitchen, my breakfast dishes, and he called me over and he said, Sylvia, come here, take a look at this. And I looked at it, and there Jerry Falwell was saying that 2 million babies are aborted each year in this country, and that he had a shelter for homeless pregnant girls.
All right, we're going to have to we're going to have to do a bit of a cliffhanger, Sylvia. I've got to take a 2-minute commercial break. Exonation, Sylvia Anthony is with me. She's an astounding lady. She is truly a gift from God to this planet. Her website is www.sylviashaven.org. Sylvia Anthony and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X-Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, a guiding light spelled LITE.com to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, and you're listening to us around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. My guest this hour is a lady who has helped transform over 1,084 lives in the past 27 years. Sylvia Anthony is her name, and she is the young lady. Yes, I believe 84 is still very young, who is behind Sylvia's Haven. Her website is www.sylviashaven.org, and she's also the author of a book entitled Till the End of Time. Sylvia, before we went to the commercial break, you were telling us that your husband was watching Jerry Falwell. You were doing the dishes, yes. and he asked you, or basically yelled for you, to come and see what was going on TV.
That's right. And Jerry Falwell said he had what he called a Save a Baby syllabus. It was a manual on how to run a shelter. So he said that he would give it to anyone free of charge who wanted it. And just then a light blew in my head, and I says, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. So we sent away for the syllabus, right. And my husband was 6 months from dying at this point, and he quickly picked up the phone and started networking, trying to get us, known around and what we intended to do. And he got a lawyer pro bono who did our articles of incorporation, incorporated us with the state of Massachusetts on January 25th, 1987, and he started the nonprofit status. So when we did this, it was all done. And my husband died on March 30th. Today is his anniversary. And that's what happened. And now I'm running Sylvia's Haven after much ado, but like you say, 1,084 women and children later, I'm still here, and God is still keeping me going.
How hard was it when you and your husband, who passed away, nearly 30 days after you started your quest into Sylvia's Haven? How hard was it getting funding, getting property? Did the government help in any way?
Yes. At first, I was just doing what I could, and I rented a house from time to time. Mm-hmm. And in 1992, I got a letter from the federal government stating that an Army base in Massachusetts called Fort Devens was going to close down. And according to a thing called the McKinney Act, I could be there, because there it says that any base that closes down must have X amount of people that are homeless. So they said, you're running a shelter that's for homeless people. You're eligible. If you're interested, put in a letter of intent, put in a proposal, and if we like it, in 30 days we'll let you know, and here are all the buildings attached. I picked 50 townhouses, and the Post Chapel worth $18 million.
Oh.
I called up my lawyer. I told him about it, and I said, and this was going to be for $1 a year. So he said, let's go for it. He did it, and within 30 days, they said it was the best proposal they'd ever seen. They had given it to me. The only thing was that there was a 3-year wait before I could get in, so time for the Army to move on. But that's how it started there, and there I was for nine and a half years, and I sheltered about 100 families every year for that 9.5 years.
How did you maintain the day-to-day expenses?
Believe it or not, it was all private donations.
Wow.
And whatever the expenses were, God provided it for me. in that particular, at 3 years during that time in the middle, I grossed about $500,000 each year. And that was all God's doing. And on top of that, it was just a fantastic thing. There was a miracle every minute. It was a fantastic thing that I will never forget.
I understand that your dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in each and every state.
I think God put it in my heart. Because I'm thinking to myself, here I am, 84 years old, and I'm still healthy. What is this? And sure enough, I got the look. You got more work to do. Get busy. So here I am now, trying to do this. And if it's God's will, it'll happen, and I know it will.
Throughout your life, you've had many challenges, more than most people. How do you keep your faith?
I have to keep my faith. There's nothing else. I can do nothing without God. He's the one that put me here, which was the greatest gift of all. He's the one that sustains me, and I do nothing but rely on him, and he takes care of me. And that's all I can say to that, because that's the truth.
Is there one case that you've had over the past 27 years that rings so true to you that stands out as that special family? Or are all the members who come to Sylvia's family all the same in your eyes?
No. There are those that are very, very special. And I think God gives me these to show me what has happened during the years. I remember I had a client who was number 10, and she had come from Nigeria, but she was going to college here in Massachusetts at Mount Ida College in Newton, and she got pregnant while she was there. It seems that these people from Nigeria, the ones that were wealthy, all followed the same pattern. So she met a Nigerian boy there, and she got pregnant by him. Well, at first she didn't know what to do, so she just called up her family and said, I quit. And the father thinking, well, she's a spoiled little brat. I've got to teach her a lesson. He cut her off from all monies, and she went to a place called Pregnancy Help, which was a Catholic organization, and they sent her to me. Well, when she's about 8 months along, suddenly she figures, I got to tell my family.
Oh, boy.
So she called her sister, who was a lawyer, and told her the story. She says, please tell Mom and Dad I'm going to have a baby. Well, they were good Christian people, and they forgave her completely. And when she had the baby, the mother wanted to come out and see the baby. So the baby was born on February 25th, 1990. And in June, the girl came up to me and said, Sylvia, my mother wants to come here. Can she stay here for a while? She wants to see the baby. I'll put a mattress on the floor. She won't bother you. I said, sure, go ahead. So the woman came, and the girls loved her. We were only in a house that held about 4 girls. And she cooked for them. She cleaned the dishes after. She cleaned all the common areas. They had a maid there. They loved it. They were wonderful. So anyway, come September, she wants to leave. It's getting cold for her. She wants to go back to Nigeria. And she asked her daughter, look, would you do me a favor? If you want, she says, I'm offering. I can take the baby back home. I can support it. It'll give you a chance to do whatever you want. Whenever you want the child, you can come and get it. You can come and visit it. She says, but I want you to get your feet, on solid ground and know where you want to go. So the girl said, yes, you can take her. So when the grandmother left, she thanked me very much. She took the baby with her, and she said, Sylvia, I'll always let you know what happens to this child. And sure enough, she did. She sent me pictures of her birthdays, like at 5 years old. Oh. She sent me a picture of her when she was a teenager, and she won a beauty contest. She told me she had her in private school and she had 2 double promotions. She graduated high school at 16 years old. And then the father of the baby always wanted the baby. And when the mother was there and found out where the father's parents lived, she had a sister in the same town. She says, she contacted her sister and she said, why don't you contact this woman? She says, and maybe we can get them married off. The mother replied of the man, she ruined my son's life. Well, the son, I don't think liked that and stayed in America and did very well. And he kept keeping tabs on his daughter. People would tell him of what was happening. So at 16, he found out that the grandmother's husband died, and she lost a lot of the money and really was in a hard time. And he contacted her. He says, if you bring the girl over here, I think he even paid for the trip. He says, I'll put her through college.
Wow.
So she came back, and he put her through college. And they contacted me when they got back, and I took them to Rockport. I took them out to eat and whatnot. I took her to Newport, Rhode Island, to see the castles there. And then I heard that I asked her at the time, what are you going to do? She says, I think I'm going to go for her MBA. But after she finished 2 years, she decided she wanted to be a lawyer, too. So she finished 4 years, and now I heard that she wanted to live near where the law school was, which is Suffolk Law School. And I says, I've got a room. I can put her in my room. So she's not homeless, but God has showed me what can happen. And that girl is living there now, and she's going to law school, and she's getting B's all the time. She's doing just wonderfully, and it's such a blessing. So we've got more of those.
Well,
I can go on and on like that.
Well, we're going to
It's
have to
beautiful.
take our news break now. When we come back, I'd like to talk to you about your book, Till the End of Time, and I'd also like to hear about some of the other wonderful stories and the lives that you, Sylvia Anthony, have made a positive change. It's so great having you here with us in the X-Zone. Please stand by.
Yes, darling.
X-Zone Nation, the one and only Sylvia Anthony is my very special guest this hour. If you'd like to help out, please go to our website, www.sylviashaven.org. That's www.sylviashaven.org. And you can make a donation right online. It's that simple. Over the last 27 years, this lady has helped transform over 1,084 lives. God bless her. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news with my very special guest and friend, Sylvia Anthony. Once again, our website, www.sylviashaven.org. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Joyce with the X Zone. This week, beginning March 31st through April 6th, we have eclipses, retrogrades, and the Grand Cross energy. That comes on April 28th, which is going to bring activity and attention to your relationships. On the 29th, the solar eclipse in Taurus will bring a focus on your finances. Your patience will be tested throughout the month because 3 planets are retrograde. Your mind will be on several different issues this month as Mercury zips through Pisces, Aries, and finally Taurus. When Mars is in partnership-oriented Libra, you can expect activity in that area of your life. Be sensitive to the needs of people around you. Aim for harmony and equality in all of your alliances, whether they are emotional or professional. There are 2 very strong, challenging aspects in April, on the 20th and the 21st. Actually, this energy will affect you the entire month, beginning today. For many, they bring stress, nervousness, a crisis, suffering, a dilemma, or other problems. Be sure to stay alert. Avoid all high-crime neighborhoods and people who have been abusive to you in the past. Since the Grand Cross triggers, the water signs expect lots of April showers.
And for more information, you can visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com. Exonation, my guest this hour is Sylvia Anthony, and Sylvia has been recognized as the National Association of Professional Women's 2012-2013 Woman of the Year. She was featured on the 700 Club and received a commendation from President George Bush in 2002. She is the recipient of the Arthur L. Whitaker Award, the National Alliance to End Homelessness Recognition Award, Ambassador for Peace Award, the Governor of Massachusetts Recognition Award, and was named the 2001 Hometown Hero by WBZ-TV in Boston. Her website, her story, is at www.sylviashaven.org. Sylvia, tell me about your book that is entitled Till the End of Time.
Well, it is a biography. It starts with actually my inception and goes right up to 2011. It tells my whole story because somebody once said, why don't you write a book? And I figured, well, I have to write from the beginning in order for them to know where I am now. And that's what I've done. And it's got everything in it. It's an open book, that's for sure. But it tells my whole story from beginning to end. Not end. We haven't ended yet.
That's right. That's right. Sylvia, are there more and more cases of abuse, domestic violence that are being brought to your attention?
That segment is always the same. It's a large segment. Of all the women that I've had, I would say it's about 85% of my cases come from abuse. That's actually the what I get. It's just terrible, but you know, the girls make their own mistakes. They make their own. They get into their trouble. But the idea is once they come to me and I see that they want to get out of it, I do everything I can to help them. As long as they can prove to me that they don't want to go back to that situation, that they've had all they can take and they want to change their lives, and that's what I'm all about. Those that want to help themselves, want to get out, I'm willing to help. I don't want anyone at our place who expects a handout and just to sit there and do nothing. I expect them to get up, go to work, go to school, go wherever they have to go to better themselves so that they can live a normal life. And I have a 15%, what am I saying, 15, a 95% success rate.
Wow.
But that 5% really can make your hair stand on end, let me tell you. Except that diminishes all the time, because the older I get and the wiser I get, they can't pull the wool over my eyes too well.
Sylvia, has your walk with God always been a close one?
Not as close as it is today. I became a born-again Christian with my husband, but I was always a very good Catholic, and I always knew God was there from the day I was born. But, when you're young, you make a lot of foolish mistakes, and one of them was getting married too young. And you do a lot of things that you're sorry for later, especially once your walk with God is close. Then you look back and you say, how did that ever happen? But that's true of everybody. We all make mistakes in this life. The idea is if we keep these mistakes going, then there's something wrong.
Have you ever had any families who have come to you and then went back to their domestic home and things just worked out, that there was no more domestic violence, that the family unit was able to pull back together again?
Not like that, no. Most of the girls that I have, if they've had trouble, they've severed their ties and they haven't gone back, and they didn't mend their relationship. It was too far gone by the time they come back to me. I've seen, though, them come to me with a bad situation and get hold of their own lives and keep on going. We had a woman who came to us with 4 children in the middle of the night. She had been married many years. They had a beautiful home. They had a business, everything, and suddenly the husband decides that he's going to have a change of life or something, and he picks up a girlfriend, and he lets the business go. He doesn't pay the mortgage anymore, wants her out of the house, threatens to kill her, and she's so frightened she just picked up her kids and everything she could put in a van, and she didn't even know where she was going. I was at Fort Devens at the time, and one of my assistants seen the strange van going around. She went up to her and she says, "Can I help you?" So she asked where she was, and we told her. My manager told her, and she told her story, and right away we gave her a home. A couple of years later, she was back on getting a job for herself, and finding a place for her children, and making it on her own.
Fantastic.
But that's the way it is.
How many?
Go ahead.
How many staff do you have, Sylvia?
Staff?
Yes.
Right now, I have only one house, and I'm the staff plus volunteers at this point.
My gosh.
But when I was at Fort Devens, there was one woman for every 3 families, but we had 40 families going all the time. But now that's what I have, is about 4 families, and I can take care of that myself. I hope it's not the way it's going to be. I want a crew for every state.
How do the children adapt when they leave the abusive situation home and they come to you as the Rock of Gibraltar in their new little lives?
Oh, they're beautiful. They're so happy. I've got one girl there now that has a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old. I come in the door and she runs up to me and she kisses and she hugs me. All of them do. But, it's such a blessing. They know when they're comfortable. They know when they're loved, and they respond to that so well, and it's so great. Sometimes if they've been suffering for a long time, you see them inhibited for a while. Mm-hmm. But as they realize that they're comfortable here and they're loved here, they come out of their shell. They do all right.
What is your biggest challenge right now?
My biggest challenge right now, I guess, would be to do what I want to do, to get these shelters in every state. I would like a shelter to be able to process about 100 girls like I had at Fort Devens a year. That would make a great help. I can't do it all, and I'm not going to do it all even if I have all that.
Sure.
But at least there'll be a lot of people, just like there's over 1,000 now, that have a good chance in life. And that's what I want. And I think God's going to have me do it. He's done it for me all this time. He's the one that told me. He's the one that directed me. And this is what he wants. Well, I will do it. We'll do it. And then he can take me home after it's all set up. And then I'll be glad to go home.
Let me ask you this. Sylvia's Haven is for ladies and their families. But what about guys who suffer from physical and domestic abuse? Are there places like Sylvia's Haven for them?
They're not like, there are some places in Boston here for men, but they're not the same as what I have a very close relationship with them. I don't think there is that. I know one time I was having breakfast someplace, and a man was just in that situation. And he was very bitter because, after all, men can be abused or mistreated just as well as the other. So he came up he found out where I had breakfast and came with a chip on his shoulder. And he come up to me and he says, "What do you think? It's only the women that get in these problems?" He says, "Men do too." Mm-hmm. And I looked at him straight in the eye and I says, "I know that, but I can't do it all." I says, "Why don't you start a shelter for the men?" Excellent. And he just shut up like a clam and went away. But, I can't do it all.
Sure.
I can only do so much. But we need that. We need some men to care and help these men. One of my sons was in that position. Married 28 years and suddenly she got a boyfriend. It's not nice. Either way. But we got to have the people who are willing to put themselves out to help these people.
I think when it comes to the case of male abuse, that it's such a dirty secret in society that it's well hidden. It's in the closets, and I think in order for this to get the recognition and get the support it needs, we need to make this known that, hey, it's not only ladies who suffer, it's not only ladies who are the victims, but men are also victimized both as spouses and in abusive situations.
Well, you know what it is? The men have this macho thing. They don't want to admit it. My son, I didn't know it, but things were going on for months.
Yeah. I
thought it was strange. He wasn't inviting me to his house, and suddenly he's coming out, wherever you saw him, he was without his wife. And, but it didn't dawn on me after 28 years.
Wow. Till
finally he had to come out. But for months and months, I didn't know what was happening. One time we went over there at a 4th of July thing like we do every year, and she turned around on my sister and told her something that I thought was surprising. She says, he had a virus. She says, and I didn't want to sleep with him. She says, so I made him sleep on the floor.
Wow.
When my sister told me that, I almost died. I was so shocked. And he slept on the floor? But he didn't want to say anything. Yeah. And it's sad. They've got to come out. They've got to look for help. God bless him. He's doing well financially, very well financially today. It didn't bother him in any way. He was strong enough. But still the hurt, I'm sure, I don't think he'll ever get over it.
Tell me about your appearance on the 700 Club.
Oh, that was a long time ago, but it was wonderful. The manager there, I once asked for some help, financial help, and they would give me, at the time it was when I first started, and I was very, kind of reserved, and he'd say, how much do you want? And I'd say, well, I could use $200, and he'd say, how much do you want? And again, I would say, so naturally he would give me what little I asked for. But then he said he sent down a man and to interview me with a camera and whatnot, and they had me on the 700 Club, and I have the tape on that. And that was when it was Sylvia's Haven, when it was mostly a pro-life thing, and it went very well. But at the end, he had an experience where some young boy was feeding some people, and they sent the boy and the father loads and loads of money. Mm-hmm. So this time, I guess he was more reserved, and he says, we help Sylvia Anthony, and we can help all other people. Just send your money here. So I didn't get a dime. I got the recognition, but I didn't get a dime. So I got somebody who called up and said, I would like to start one. How do you do it? And I gladly told them. But nevertheless, it was there, and it was a beautiful, beautiful show, and I am very happy for it.
Do you get support from the Massachusetts government? Do you get any support from the local neighborhoods or social services?
No. None whatsoever. The city gives me a little money and they started out with $5,000 a year, and now I think it's down to $3,500. But that's all. I still have to rely totally on God's people, and somehow I'm 84 years old. I'm still here.
Sylvia, stand by, dear. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exo Nation, Sylvia Anthony is our special guest this hour. She's the lady behind Sylvia's Haven. And in the last 27 years, this lady, with help from her God, has helped transform over 1,084 lives. She's also the author of Till the End of Time. Her website, www.sylviashaven.org. It's a great story. It's a great website. If you can help, go there. It's people helping people. This is what this world is about. Geez, 84 years young, doing what she's doing, helping all the people she's helped. What a lady. That's all I can say. What a lady. Once again, her website, www.sylviashaven.org. That's www.sylviashaven.org. And Sylvia and I will be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Exonation, the one and only Sylvia Anthony is my special guest this hour. She's the lady behind Sylvia's Haven, and it's near Boston. It's in the city of Revere, Massachusetts. And it's a place that helps people. It gives families, moms, children, a safe haven. She's been doing this for 27 years, has helped over 1,084 lives, made countless friends. She's done media. She's received presidential commendations. She's received awards, the Ambassador for Peace Award, the Governor of Massachusetts Recognition Award, and in 2001 named Hometown Hero by WBZ TV in Boston. She needs our help, Exonation. She needs our help. She gets very little support except from good people like you all around the world who want to make a positive difference in the lives of other people. Her dream is very simple. She would like a Sylvia's Haven in each and every state of the United States. Sylvia, how can our listeners help?
Well, they can contact me. My telephone number, my web is on my website. My website is all there, like you said, sylviashaven.org. And any way they can help financially, if they have land that they would like to donate as a tax write-off, is there anybody that would like to be a manager of one of these places in any state, anybody that knows anyone, I need help every way I can get. And I certainly will listen to everybody if there is any means, financial means or donation means or anything. Why, just get in touch with me and we'll go from there.
Where can people where can people buy a copy of your book, Till the End of Time?
They can get it at Barnes & Noble. They can get it in any outlet, Amazon, anywhere. It's available anywhere. You have to ask for it, but you can get it. There's no two ways about it. And I have some here in the office, so that if you wanted to contact me at 781-629-4327 for any donation that you want, I'll be glad to send it to you. It's here, and I got quite a few here that I can send out, and all of them would be signed by me. So that way you can do it, or you can do it. There are e-books. There are all kinds of. You can get it on pads. You can get it just about any way that you want from anywhere.
Sylvia, the time has gone by so fast. I want to thank you very much for coming with us, and for the people who can't or who haven't said, I would like to say thank you, Sylvia Anthony, for all your wonderful work, and you are a blessing to us all.
Thank you very much. You're a blessing to many, too, I know. And I've always been very much impressed with you. You are the greatest. And I want to thank you so much for all that you do for everybody.
God bless you, Sylvia. Take care of yourself, my dear friend. We'll check back with you in a little while and see how you're doing.
Okay. Thank you very much, darling. God bless you.
God bless you, too, Sylvia. Exonation, Sylvia Anthony has been my guest this hour. What a wonderful lady. 27 years, she has helped transform over 1,084 lives, and she can use our help. Visit her website at www.sylviashaven.org, and you can also get a copy of her book, Till the End of Time, by either going to her website or giving her a call. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you at 781-629-4327. The X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, will continue on the other side of this news break at 6.5 minutes past the hour. I will be back, further investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center and worldwide on the X Zone Broadcast Network. Don't go away.